Hello, fans. Today's game is sure to be a good one. Now set right there with your favorite snacks and let's meet our Lion of the Day.
Today's Lions video is Dick LeBeau. He is represented by a 1965 Philadelphia, base card number 64, with a on-card auto-authenticated by PSA. When people talk about Dick LeBeau, they usually jump straight to the Steelers, the zone blitz, the mastermind. But before he became a legendary defensive coordinator, he spent 14 seasons in Detroit turning quarterbacks into mistakes. Today we're telling the full story, how a Lions cornerback became one of the most influential defensive minds the NFL has ever seen. If you love football history, forgotten greats, and the stories behind the legends, you're in the right place. Let's rewind to Detroit, because that's where the Dick LeBeau legend truly begins. So why was he so effective? First, anticipation. Great corners don't just react. They predict. They recognize route concepts, tendencies, and tells. LeBeau played like a guy who knew what was coming. Second, toughness and durability. In a league that chews people up, he lasted 14 seasons, all with Detroit. That kind of longevity, especially at cornerback, speaks to consistency and professionalism. And third, he understood something most players only learn later. Defense isn't just about talent, it's about structure, how the whole unit fits together. And that idea, defense as a living, moving puzzle, sets up his next chapter. After he retired, LeBeau didn't drift away from football. He leaned in. He moved into coaching and, over time, became the kind of teacher players talk about for the rest of their lives, demanding, detail-obsessed, and always ahead of trends. Eventually, he lands in the role he's most famous for, defensive coordinator, and this is where the league really feels his fingerprints. Dick LeBeau is widely credited with creating and refining the zone blitz, a concept that messes with quarterbacks by sending pressure from unexpected places while still keeping coverage integrity behind it. It's not just send more rushers, it's deception, show one thing, do another, and make the quarterback wrong before the ball is even snapped. And in Pittsburgh, that approach helps shape an era. LeBeau's Steelers defenses become a calling card, fast, physical, confusing, and punishing. He earns multiple Super Bowl rings as part of that run, and his influence spreads across the NFL, because when something works at that level, everyone copies it. He also gets his shot as a head coach in Cincinnati, adding another layer to his football resume. And even as the years stack up, he keeps coaching, finishing his career with Tennessee in the mid-2010s. Here's what makes Dick LeBeau special. He's a two-for-one legend. As a Detroit Lion, he's one of the greatest defensive backs the franchise has ever had. 62 interceptions, multiple Pro Bowls, and more than a decade of elite play. And as a coach, he's one of the defining defensive minds in modern football. His concepts reshaped how defenses attack the pass. That's why the Hall of Fame called. In 2010, Dick LeBeau's football life became immortal. If you came here thinking LeBeau was only a Steelers legend, now you know the truth. Detroit built the foundation, and the rest of the league felt the impact. Did you know in a game against the Vikings in the early 1960s, LeBeau scored 2 defensive touchdowns. He returned an interception for a touchdown and took a fumble back for another score. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Dick LeBeau's Lions legacy and defensive genius, drop a like, subscribe, and comment the next player you want covered, and follow for more football history stories.